Hello creative cooks, welcome to another episode of the Creative Phebe Cooks channel. I'm Phoebe and I hope you're enjoying your week so far. Today is all about this plant-based and gluten-free chickpea burger. It's packed with plant-based protein, robust in flavor, and nourishing elements that will make you feel so good when eating it. If you're on a vegan or plant-based diet like myself, in this video, I'll be showing you what to look out for when shopping for kale, since I'll be using it to build a burger, and it's actually much more nutritious than lettuce. Also sharing how to make this chickpea burger recipe a part of your next vegan meal prep session, so you can have it as a part of your weekly or monthly meals. And towards the end of the video, I'll share a very budget-friendly method you can use starting today to add more plant-based protein to this burger and all your meals. It actually costs less than $1 and you don't want to miss out on that. So let's start off by making the burger buns, since they'll take the longest to cook. Last month I shared a chickpea bread recipe that I'll be referencing to make the burger buns. They're completely gluten-free, plant-based, and a good source of protein because they're made with chickpeas, dried chickpeas. I've added the link to that recipe in the description box below so you can bake some for burgers. Divide the mixture into 4 to 5 portions. Scoop and shape the portions on a parchment-lined baking sheet. You can make this mixture a day in advance, max 2 days if you keep it refrigerated so it doesn't go bad, before you bake them into buns or bread. Also, don't be alarmed by the consistency of the mixture or that you can't shape it by hand to make buns. After shaping the buns using a spoon or spatula into a round or square shape, garnish them with cumin seeds and white sesame seeds or black sesame seeds to make these buns pop. These are the kind of gluten-free burger buns that do not fall apart, even though it's made with chickpeas, a completely different grain but a much healthier one due to the fact that our digestive systems cannot process gluten proteins well. With that said, these buns will hold well throughout the time you'll be having your burger. Bake these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Next is the mushroom and onion sauce to give this burger a meaty and umami flavor. It takes less than 15 minutes to make. Slice up half an onion and 3 garlic cloves and set them aside. I'm using portobello mushrooms because once they're cooked, they lend a really bold and meaty flavor to this dish, especially after it blends well with the caramelized onions, making the burger or whatever you have this mushroom and onion sauce with quite balanced in flavor profiles. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe so you get notified each time I share plant-based and gluten-free recipes to help you achieve your diet and fitness goals. In my next episode, I'll be sharing information on what to look out for when shopping for mushrooms, so be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications so you do not miss out on that. On medium to high heat, add the coconut oil to a warm cast iron skillet, together with the sliced onions, garlic, and a few seasonings that include coarse sea salt, ground coriander seed, cayenne pepper, or you may substitute for black pepper powder, depending on your spice tolerance. Then add in a few fresh oregano sprigs. Stir this combo well and let it saute for about 5 to 6 minutes. Add the sliced mushrooms to the sauteing aromatics and fold in well. Then cover the pan with a lid, reduce the heat to low, and allow it to continue cooking for the mushrooms to sweat. Cook for 8 more minutes. The chickpea burger buns are all done and looking really good. Creative cooks, we love cooking efficiently and creatively. To make a large batch of this sauce, increase the ingredient quantities by 4 to 5 times since mushrooms and onions tend to shrink when cooked. If that seems like a lot of food, freeze half of it, especially if you love mushrooms and onions, so you don't have to cook fresh food on a daily basis. Then you can have it with steamed rice or millet, on sandwiches, or power bowls during the week, or alternate weeks of the month. After the 8 minutes are up, the onions will be caramelized and the mushrooms are limp. Turn off the heat and set aside or store in a glass storage container. This part is also done. Aside from burgers, use my plantain flatbread recipe to pair with this sauce and roasted vegetables to make a wrap, and I'm sure you'll enjoy every single bite. Let me know in the comments if you try that out. Once the burger buns are warm enough to handle, transfer them to a cooling rack before slicing them open, or they will be sticky if you cut them open while they're still hot. Having prepared every ingredient for a recipe like this burger makes it easy to create new meals by pairing different food components together, so you're not eating the same thing every day, which can be quite boring. Whether you have a busy schedule or starting a new diet, having a meal plan system will surely work in your favor. And if you need help creating one of those, use the link below to sign up for a customized meal plan coaching session so you can get a meal plan ready for all of August, September, and beyond. Now that the burger buns and mushroom sauce are all done, I'll make some pickled onions, which will add a nice touch of sweet and tangy taste to the burgers. But before continuing on, as promised earlier on, here's what to look out for when shopping for kale, a leafy cruciferous vegetable. Make sure the leaves are perky, vibrant, and crisp. The stems ought to be firm and make a snap when you break them. The 3 most common varieties you'll find at the stores are dinosaur kale, also known as lacinato kale, red kale, also known as scarlet kale or Russian kale, and curly green kale. Kale is rich in vitamin C, so with it you will not feel limited to obtain vitamin C from only oranges. It's also high in calcium, selenium, and sulforaphane, among many other health properties. They can be eaten raw or cooked. The red one, which I'll be using for today's recipe, has hues of purple, which means it contains anthocyanin, meaning that it has a good amount of antioxidants, which your body will love. Anthocyanin, if you're wondering, is what gives some kale varieties, blueberries, red cabbage, and other red, blue, and purple foods their color. I've linked a kale and apple salad recipe in the description box below, which you can make for your summer festivities. After slicing up the shallot, season with salt and apple cider vinegar to make pickled shallots, which will also tone down the pungent taste of the shallots. You can also use the same method for red or white onions. If you prefer to have bread for your recipes, aim to make a large batch of these burger buns or the bread loaf using the same recipe. They freeze pretty well for up to 2 months, which makes meal prep a breeze, so you're not always baking fresh bread or buns on the fly. That can be really stressful. I like to cut my buns in half before freezing them, just in case I want to refuel myself with half a piece to snack on with nut butter and a few slices of fresh fruit. Aside from making chickpea bread and red lentil flatbread to add more protein to your diet, protein grain sprouts are a phenomenal budget-friendly method to obtain plant protein from, because the nutrients and minerals of the grain become more bioavailable to you in true plant form to support your gut health and overall well-being. That means your immune system, your blood flow, all of it. And sprouts have a really good amount of fiber, which your body will love. Recently, I've been sprouting a lot, testing out which sprouts I like, and observing a sustainable growing timeline for each of them. This time around, I opted to sprout lentil, peas, and coriander seeds. If you think you get nourished from healthy whole grains, try eating more sprouts, then reevaluate your outcome. If you already sprout, let me know in the comments. I'm looking forward to sprouting more seeds and see how I like each of them. It makes my meal a lot satiating, nourishing, because you tend to get different nutrients from different food components that make the entire meal a balanced meal. To hold all the elements in place for this chickpea burger, I'm starting off with my favorite, hummus. It's creamy and fluffy, and I've added a link for the recipe in the description box below. Then stack it up with leafy greens, pickles, tomatoes, whatever you like. I'm using red kale for an extra boost of antioxidants from the anthocyanins. That word just sounds so lovely. Anthocyanins. Sounds like I'm a scientist. If you're making this particular burger, here's what to expect. You'll get the creaminess from the hummus, a good crunch from the red pepper slices and kale, a beefy taste from the sauteed mushrooms, earthiness from the lentil sprouts, tanginess from the seasoned shallots. I mean, should I keep going on? This is a whole meal deal. It wraps well in a parchment paper if you want to have it for lunch at the office or travel for a picnic. You'll be able to tell that this burger bun is earthy because it's made with chickpeas, but it's not so pungent that it takes away from the entire meal. Feel free to pair this chickpea burger with any of the anti-inflammatory drinks I shared in my last episode. Creative Cooks, that's one epic chickpea burger, and I'm excited to know in the comments how it turned out for you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll chat again in my next episode. Goodbye.